Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, this is very exciting, we finally have my 2020 bullet journal setup. We're done with my 2019 one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the flip through that came out this week. So this year I'm using a Dingbats notebook. They are super amazing. They have amazing notebooks and that has like a little pen loop and this like faux leathery texture on them, and I have the dark blue one, which is the whale, the orca one. They have a bunch of different ones with different animals on them, and I'll talk a little bit more about Dingbats in a bit, about their like ethos and stuff. So on the first page I just wrote out my name and my contact email if I ever lose it. And for every UK sale, Dingbats Notebooks donates 2% of the revenue to WWF UK, which, as you guys may know, is a charity that helps with conserving wildlife. And yeah, all of their notebooks are also vegan. So yeah, to actually get things started, I decided to sprinkle some little stars everywhere just because it makes things better. And you guys know the drill. On the first page, it's the keys. So I basically what I do on this page is I write out what all the keys in this notebook mean. So a little square means that that's a task. A little square with a line through it means the task has been completed. A circle means it's an event, and etc, etc. And then I just kind of decorated a little bit to make it look a little nicer. Add a drop shadow to my key log. Obviously, you guys know I can't go without a drop shadow. And then I just kind of decorated it with a bunch of little stickers. I have some star stickers and some little gold like circle stickers that I enjoy, and also decorated it with a bit of washi tapes. Just kind of having fun with it a little bit. Of course, guys, all the materials that I use in today's video will be in the description below, so anything that you see that you fancy, it'll be down there. So on the second page, I just kind of did a little 2020 drawing just to signify that this is the 2020 bullet journal. And I just drew it out like this and added a little bit of a decor around it. And for most of the drawings and like writing that I'm doing in this video, I'm mostly using my Tombow Fudenosuke pen. And I used a lot of this Jelly Roll pen in metallic gold for a lot of the gold details and stuff. It's a really beautiful gold color that matches the gold of my stickers, so I just used that to do some cute little illustrations in this notebook. And after those two pages were done, it was time for the next one, which is normally on this page I do like a little quote to kind of inspire the year, if you will. So the quote that I did for this year is, "This is the beginning of anything you want." And I just really enjoyed like the sound of this quote. It makes a lot of sense to me personally, because it's all about, you know, personal motivations and whatever. I always think that whatever I want to do, it's up to me to make it happen. So yeah, I just really like this quote. And this year, for anyone who doesn't know, is going to be quite a big year for me because I'm graduating from university and going into the big bad world. So I thought this was pretty nice. So the next page in my bullet journal, I did my New Year's resolutions, and I always like having a page for my resolutions. I know not everyone is into New Year's resolutions, but I really like New Year's resolutions because they kind of give me a set of goals for the year, and I love setting myself goals. So I added some little drawings of some roses around it just to decorate it a little bit, and then I went back in with my gold pen from Sakura Jelly Roll and added some gold details to the quote that I did on the other page. So that's where all my resolutions are going to go. in a bit. And so the next page, it was now time for my future log. And for anyone who doesn't know, the future log is basically your whole entire year in like 2 pages pretty much, like a yearly calendar, if you will. And I decided to make things a little bit more colorful this year and kind of make the future log kind of rainbowish, so attribute a different color to each month. And I'm using my Crayola Super Tips for this, and I'm just kind of making it a little bit more, you know, like a little rainbow, and I think it looks very cute. So for my future logs, I normally do 6 months for each double spread. So my future log ends up being 4 different pages, and this way I can still have space to write in all of the like future events and birthdays and things that are happening this year over there on the side. I went in and just added a little border to every month. And yeah, as you can see, I have the month over there on the left, and then I just have space to write whatever I want that I need to remember on the side. Then I went in with my white Gelly Roll pen to write Future Log and 2020 over at the top there in those little squares that I did, and added then of course a drop shadow to all the months and their little boxes, because of course. And then I repeated the exact same process on the next 2 pages. And I do recommend you guys to have like a calendar open while you're doing this, just to make sure that you get the months right. Yeah, I did the exact same thing on the next page, repeating the whole rainbow aesthetic thing and the little boxes. And then after that, I just wrote in all the days of the month for every month in those little boxes. I use one of my Art and Fly fine liners to get the tiny little numbers to fit in the boxes. And after that was done, I went in with a grey Crayola Super Tip to add a little line over there at the top to connect my 2 little banners. And that was pretty much it for my future log. Yeah, plenty of space to fill in all of the events. And then my camera decided to not film pretty much all of this spread, but yeah, sorry about that, guys. This double spread was dedicated to all the films I want to watch this year and shows, and all the books I want to read and podcasts I want to listen to. I did mention in my 2019 bullet journal flip through that I wanted to add podcasts to this double spread this year, because I've been getting into podcasts a lot, and there's like a whole list of podcasts I want to get into. So yeah, I just wrote out, you know, films, books, series, and podcasts in a calligraphy using my Fudenosuke, and then just doodled some little, you know, things that kind of as I associated with each one next to it, and made these little boxes. I didn't, you know, make it crazy or anything, but I'm sorry that my camera didn't film it. And then I just added some little drop shadows to each box and added like little lines to the drop shadows to make it a little bit more fancy. And then I used my Crayola Super Tips to add just a spot of color to the spread, as it was looking very, you know, flat and black and white. And after that, it was now time for my next spread, which is my YouTube video ideas double spread. I did this spread this year pretty much the exact same as I did last year, just, you know, tweaking it so it fits all of my voiceover topics and series that I do on the channel, and bullet journal themes as well. I just added a bunch of little light bulbs kind of coming down from the top, just because I associate light bulbs with, you know, ideas, obviously. So I thought it looked cute last year, so I thought, you know, keep the same theme running. And I added a little box over there on the right, which is where I'm gonna put all my voiceover topics, series, and bullet journal themes over there. And then I separated the page on the left into 2 columns, so I have as much space as I need for all of my YouTube videos and ideas. So that was pretty much it for that spread. And my next spread is more for my own personal banking kind of spread. It's where I write down all of my subscriptions that I have and like bills and stuff. So this is where I write my yearly and monthly bills and stuff that I have to pay, so that it makes it easier when I'm doing my monthly expenses. It's all like here, and I can immediately just add the total number onto that. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I made a little box for my monthly expenses like bills and subscriptions and stuff, and then a yearly one. And yeah, I used my little pink Crayola Super Tip to add a pink drop shadow to the banner at the top, and then added a black drop shadow to both of my little boxes. And then on the next page, I decided this year to do a little gratitude monthly page. And what this is basically is at the end of every month, I want to write one or a few things that I was grateful for that month. So I made this little chart and divided it up into 12, one for each month. Yeah, basically at the end of each month, I can just write out something that I was really grateful for that happened to me that month. And I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be a very good practice to do this year. And I use my Jelly Roll pen in white to write down all the months over there on the left column. I really do recommend for you to try doing this. I just feel like it's a good thing to set into motion this year. Next page, the last page of our setup is I did a 2020 wish list and a travel bucket list. So I had these two in my last bullet journal, so I decided to just, you know, put those in here again. And my 2020 wish list is just things that I want to save up to get this year for myself, or just things that I feel like I'm going to need. A lot of this is going to be like house decorating things when I move after uni. So yeah, and my travel bucket list is it's just my bucket list that I keep ticking off every time I get to travel to one of these spots. And now it was time for my January setup. So for this month, I thought it'd be super cute to do a little like paw print theme. I've been wanting to do this one for a while, but I just keep, for some reason, never doing it because it never wins in the Twitter polls. So this month I decided to completely ignore the Twitter polls and just do it myself because it's a very cute theme. And I just wrote January over there in the middle of the page and added like little paw prints going around it, and then of course added a little like monthly calendar view at the bottom. And look at how cute it looks. I added a bit of like some other like spots around them, and the color of this month is going to be black and like a pale pink, just because I associate those two colors with little paws. And I also love the color combo of black and pink. I just think it's such a cute color combo. That was my title page for January, and then the next page was the monthly spread. I wrote January up there at the top, drew out the monthly calendar over there, and again I decided to switch things up a little bit and keep the monthly calendar on the left, and then have all of my boxes for lists and stuff on the right, just because, you know guys, just because. I obviously added a drop shadow to that, and then added some little like black ovals at the top, which is where I'm gonna later write in the days of the week with a white pen. And then over there on the right, you guys know I always do monthly goals and my YouTube planner. It's where I write out all the videos I want to post / film that month, and just a little box where I write all of my monthly goals that I want to achieve. I, of course, then decorated everything with some cute little paws everywhere. This theme also really reminds me of like Pink Panther. I don't know, it's just all the little paw prints, and also, of course, pink being the main color. Yeah, I just drew a bunch of little paws everywhere going behind the little boxes. I think it looked really adorable. And it's also a very easy theme to make if you are a bit of a beginner. It's a super easy thing to doodle. So yeah, if you feel like you're not very comfortable with doodling things, there you go. And then I divided up the box into all of the days of the month, into all the little boxes, and then used a black pen to add a little dot at the top left corner of each box, which is where I'm later going to write in the days of the month with a white pen as well. So here you can see me just writing in the days of the week with my Jelly Roll white pen, and yeah. And then I added some pink drop shadows to the boxes on the right just to add some pops of color, and it just looks adorable with the baby pink. So yeah, that was it for the monthly spread, and now it was time for my habits and expenses tracker. So I wrote out habits with my baby pink Crayola Super Tip, and then added a line black drop shadow to each letter, and then wrote tracker at the bottom. I really love the way this sort of title style looks, so yeah. And then I used my Crayola Super Tip in baby pink to draw out the monthly calendar 9 times for each one of my trackers. Yeah, I'm going to fill in every day that I fulfill one of these habits with a black dot on the respective day that I've fulfilled that habit. And then of course I use my black pen to just write, to draw some black ovals on top of each calendar, and that's where I'm going to write my individual habits that I want to track. And then of course I just drew a bunch of little paw prints, and I had some empty space at the bottom, so I just drew them like going across the page, and I think it looks adorable. So that was it for my habits tracker, and then on the next page I just drew out my expenses tracker, which is kind of always the same. I just draw out a table where I write in all of the money that comes in and all the money that comes out. And this month I actually didn't forget to do the grey line fillers, so I just use my Tombow Dual brush pen in light grey to just add a shade of grey to every other row, and that helps me distinguish the rows. So that was it for my trackers, and next up it was time for my YouTube and life planner. I always do a double spread for this because you know me, the lists just keep growing every month. I don't know, I have a busy life, you know? Also, you know, January, I'm coming back to uni after Christmas, so it's gonna be a little hectic, you know? So I need all my space for all the lists. And I did the same sort of title look that I did from my habits tracker, and then drew out a bunch of little paws everywhere, just kind of framing the pages. So that was it for this spread, and next up it was time for my weekly spread, my first weekly spread of the year and the decade. That's still weird to say that. So yeah, I decided to write in the days of the week in the two middle columns of the double spread, and then divide them with little paw prints going across, just like this. And then of course have the bottom right corner as my weekly goals and tasks that I want to achieve. And then of course I had to do like a little big, a big paw print next to each day of the week, just to write the day of the month with a white gel pen. And then I had some space over there on the left, so I decided to make that into my weekly events chart. I do quite like doing these when I know I'm going to have a busy week, so I can just write in all of my events separately. And then I went in with my pink Crayola Super Tip and added some color to the page a little bit. And then finally with my white Jelly Roll pen, I decided to just write in all the days of the month. And then I completely forgot in the beginning to stamp my bullet journal with my little shop stamp. I always do that to all my notebooks just because I think it looks adorable. And that was it, guys. That was it for our 2020 bullet journal setup. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and comment down below if you were setting up your bullet journal with me. I'd love to know. And I'm just giving you guys a bit of a flip through now of what all the pages look like. I'm super happy with how all these pages turned out. I'm so excited for the new year. Super excited to use this new notebook. Fresh start is always so nice. So I hope you guys have an amazing year, and if you're trying out bullet journaling for the first time, I hope you enjoy it. You know, make it your own thing, and just don't stress out about it. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys have an amazing New Year's, and I hope you have a lot of fun with your friends and family, and hope you have an amazing 2020. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!